Hello, and thanks for joining me for another mindful moment. Today, I want to talk about empathetic joy. In our Mindful Life programs, one of the key skills that we cultivate as a really healthy way of engaging with others in the world and to develop more social, emotional intelligence is empathetic joy. Empathetic joy, as the name would imply, first has to do with empathy, that I can relate to another, that I can feel connected to another. And so to be empathetic is, I can really relate to what you're going through and the feelings that are going on and the activities that you're engaged in. I can recognize them, identify with them, and connect to them. So empathy, big part. And then joy, having joy. So empathetic joy is to have a real sense of joy for another's virtuous activities, things that they're doing that are meaningful and helpful, that create joy. So empathetic joy is something that on the surface sounds like it could be rather easy to do. Yeah, I see someone doing good and a kind act, and I can have joy for them. And that is the crux of it. When we recognize and see others that are really doing virtuous activities, improving themselves, the world in some way, doing kind things, and we have joy for them. But the empathy part is the key, is to recognize that we're a part of that too, to have that same kind of joy that we might have for a grandchild when they do something wonderful, take those first steps, or you see them, act out of generosity, and we have that joy because, we're really connected to them. So this skill of cultivating empathetic joy is a skill that requires us to really see that we are connected to others, that when others are doing good in the world's a better place. When others are acting in virtuous ways, it's making our community better. It's making interactions in our communities healthier and more meaningful. That, in essence, I'm benefiting as well. That I'm a part of this. And that I'm contributing as well, because as part of the community, if I'm engaging in virtuous activity, I create conditions for others as well. And so, empathetic joy is a skill to be cultivated. It's something that, is a wonderful, healthy attitude in terms of emotional intelligence, or a deep recognition of our interdependence with others, our part of a community, our connection with the understanding that we're all trying to find our way in this world, whether we do foolish things or do really healthy things. And we're very quick to note the things that others do that we don't like. Can we be just as quick to note the things that others do that we can rejoice in, that we feel good about? You might find it's a little more challenging than we think, because sometimes when people do virtuous activities and things work out really well for them, we get jealous or we have some envy. And we think, why couldn't I be like that? Or why couldn't that have happened to me? So empathetic joy is actually the antidote to jealousy and envy. It's an antidote. When I have this empathetic joy, I'm not going to have jealousy, I'm not going to have envy, because I'm really a part of this virtue that's happening. I'm part of this community. And just hearing about it, bringing about a mental state that has joy. Even if I read about it in a newspaper. I don't know the person. They're doing good in the world. The world's a better place. When people bring more love into the world has more love, and we're a part of that. So this skill of empathetic joy, it's something I encourage you to practice, to start seeking the ability to notice the virtuous activities around you, because there's so much that people are doing that are so kind that we just don't even notice because we're busy and we're caught up in the things we need to do. And we don't always recognize we're surrounded by so many others who are finding their way as well, but also bringing a lot of good in the world. This morning I was working with a group of school teachers, middle school teachers, and it was a joy to see their good work and how they help their students and how much they're dedicated I had this real sense of honor to work with them, this joy. But as I was leaving, there's a little girl coming in, and it's the double doors, and I was going to grab the door for her. She was in, and then she walked back out so she could hold the door open for me. Wow. I thought, how wonderful. And I just told her, thank you so much for your kindness. That was very thoughtful of you. And it was just a joyful moment. So these moments happen, and often we don't recognize them. And often, when we do recognize them, we're caught up in envy, jealousy. Why not me? Developing a skill of empathetic joy is actively, putting an intention to practice it today. So today I encourage you in our mindful moment to practice the skill of empathetic joy. See if you can notice the good deeds others are doing and have a little joy for them in what they're doing. Thanks so much for joining me once again, and let's do this again real soon.